Okay, now we're looking at finding the sum of a sequence. Notice here it just says a sequence because they're not going to tell you whether it's arithmetic or geometric. They want us to find the sum of the first n terms of the sequence, and then the sequence is going to be either arithmetic or geometric. So you're going to have to test. You're going to have to test to see whether it's arithmetic or geometric each time. Okay, so if we look for a pattern, if I look at the first one here, 14, 8, 2, and then it continues on, I'm looking at between 14 and 8, I have a common difference of 6, 8 and 2, there's a common difference of 6. So just showing that 2 minus 8 is negative 6. Or 8 minus 14 is negative 6. So your D is negative 6. Our first term is 14. And they have not given us our last term, but they tell us that they want us to use n equals 9. Okay, so we can go back to our optional formula here, where we had n over 2 times 2 times our a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times our common difference d. Okay, so if we use our formula here, that says n, which our n, they want us to use 9. That should say n equals 9. So we're going to use 9 divided by 2 times the quantity of 2 times our a sub 1 term, which was 14, plus n minus 1, which is 9 minus 1, times d, and our common difference was negative 6. Okay, so we have a couple sets of parentheses here. So let's just clean this up a little bit. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5 times the quantity of 28 plus 9 minus 1 is 8. 8 times negative 6 is negative 48. So this says 4.5 times negative 20, so you get a sum of negative 90. Okay, if we go to the example over here on the right, now let's look for a pattern. We have to determine if it's arithmetic or geometric. Arithmetic would say 24 minus negative 2. That would give you a difference of 26. And you can tell between negative 288 and 24, it's not 26. So let's try geometric. It says your common ratio is when you take your following term, which is negative 288, divided by your previous term, which is 24. Or here it's negative 12. And you can see that if I did 24 and I divide it by that negative 2, you would again get negative 12. So your R is negative 12. Our first term is negative 2, so a sub 1 is negative 2. And here our a sub n, which we don't necessarily need unless you're going to plug it in the calculator to check it, but that says negative 2 times, so your first term times your a sub r, which is negative 12, to the n minus 1 power. All right, so using our sum formula says a sub 1, which is negative 2, times the quantity of 1 minus your r, and r is negative 12, raised to the power of n, and n here was 8. That's all over 1 minus a negative 12. If we clean this up just a little bit, the denominator, instead of 1 minus a negative 12, if you make it 1 plus 12, that becomes 13. The numerator, you still have your negative 2, and then on top, you still have to use the 1 minus negative 12 to the 8th power because your exponent comes first. Okay, so typing it in the calculator, you want it to look just how the numerator does and use parentheses and then divide it by 13. Your sum here will come out to be 66,151,030. Okay, so this was an example of an arithmetic or a geometric sequence, sum of a sequence here. This concludes finding the sum of a sequence.